Hello and a very good afternoon to you, and as always thank you so much for joining me Influence of the Times as we continue to go in search of Britain's most abandoned and derelict places. So welcome back, and for those of you who were watching earlier today, thank you so much for tuning in and for joining me as we broadcast from one of Sheffield's most notorious, most well-known abandoned and derelict locations, the Hallam Tower Hotel just outside of Sheffield. And if you watched that broadcast, you'll know that I did say that hopefully I would be able to do 2 broadcasts in one day. And as you can see just by looking behind me, yet again, we are at our next location. So for everybody who's watching, thank you so much. I won't mention any names, but thank you so much for those people that are tuning in and watching already. And hopefully as this broadcast continues, more and more people will watch. So thank you for your viewings and for watching me as we continue to go in search of Britain's most abandoned and derelict places. Now I have to say this is probably one of the very least broadcast that I've ever done from outside, as in outside. I mean, obviously every broadcast is from outside anyway, but usually it's from within a location, a kind of building or something like that. But this will be the first broadcast, if not maybe just the second one that I've done, that's been from outside completely, simply because this is an outdoor abandoned and derelict location. So without further ado, I welcome you to episode 20, what are we on, 26 now? So we did episode 25 earlier today from the Hallam Tower Abandoned and Derelict Hotel in Sheffield. Now the reason why it's taken a little bit of time to bring you this next broadcast is simply because, one, I had to walk to this next location, but two, it is such a lovely day, and believe you me, it is so much warmer than it was this morning. This morning I was absolutely freezing. But it's now getting on for the afternoon. It's I can't remember what time it is, but it's just after 12 o'clock or there around, and it's been absolutely beautiful sitting up here in the sun. You can see the sun is shining. It's a beautiful day up here. Hopefully it is where you are too. And I've been enjoying some sunshine, chilling out, taking lots of photographs, although there isn't actually a lot to see. Now I have to say that, as with many abandoned and derelict locations, as in Hallam Tower and things, there's not usually a lot to see, because a lot of abandoned and derelict places have all the artifacts removed. And in fact, the only broadcast that I've ever done in the whole of the series so far, in 26 episodes, the only abandoned and derelict location that I've ever done where there actually has been artifacts was episode 20, which we did, I believe, just before or after Christmas. Right back, in fact I think it was just before Christmas time, and we were at Sheffield's Dyson Ceramics factory, which is the biggest, I have to say, that probably the biggest location that I've ever broadcast from, and probably the most complex in the sense that there are things everywhere. I mean, it's just, I can't describe it to you. It is enormous, it's massive. I mean, you would expect it would be from a factory anyway, but in there are probably more artifacts than I've seen anywhere else. I mean, there was literally books and cups and just everyday stuff, and there was machinery like I've never seen. There were furnaces, there was just lots and lots of stuff. There was just things everywhere. It was just absolutely extraordinary. Anyway, we're not there, we are here, obviously, somewhere completely different. So welcome, without further ado, welcome to episode 26 of Influence of the Times, and welcome to Sheffield's Abandoned Ski Village. Now you wouldn't think, and can I just recap, probably just a couple of weeks ago, probably about 2 weeks ago, I know I said this morning, in this morning's live broadcast that I did, that what I'm going to do, bear with me one second, I'm just going to scroll, there you go, just going to scroll all the things to one side so I can see you better. Thank you to everybody who's watching. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day on this lovely, or should I say on this weekend of yours, and for me this beautiful sunny Saturday, and hopefully it is where you are too. But I mentioned this morning in the live broadcast that we did from Hallam Tower, and also I mentioned, and I put a post on my Facebook probably 2 weeks ago, there were some photographs, and I mentioned this morning some photographs of just some of the places that we were going to visit this year and certainly into next year. And I remember there was a photograph of the ski village sign on there, and that's where we are today. So welcome to episode 26, as I mentioned, abandoned and derelict ski village. Now this will be the first abandoned and derelict ski village that I've ever been to. Now before we start, there isn't much to see, okay, so you're going to have to bear with me. Hopefully you're going to find this interesting. I'm going to try and memorise all the information I can. As always, you can Google Sheffield Ski Village for yourselves on Google. and have a read about the village anyway. However, I like to try and do this for you. I like to give you a live broadcast and give you an absolute present day look and account of what the place looks like, and memorise all the information so that, one, you don't have to, but also just to give you something to watch. So there you go. But anyway, thank you anyway. So we're at the abandoned ski village. My first impressions is probably wow. I've never been to a ski slope or village anyway. Okay, so we all, you know, when we mention a ski village, we all think of Switzerland, or somewhere cold, somewhere snowy. But I've never been to a ski slope, let alone a village, ever. I'm hoping that one day I will, but this will be the first location that's abandoned and derelict like this that I've ever been to. Because as you know, we cover lots of things like factories. We did it at the Hallam Tower Hotel this morning, which is the first hotel that I've ever been to that was abandoned and derelict. We've done tunnels, I mean the usual kind of bits and pieces, but this will be the first ski resort, or village that I've ever broadcast from. So the first impressions really for me was wow. Firstly, the weather. I mean, it's turned out to be an absolutely beautiful, glorious sunny day. It is absolutely stunning here. Secondly, it's right up, and I'll give you some kind of roughly where we am in reference to everything, but we're right up on the hill, obviously, ski slope. And the view from up here is actually quite spectacular, to be honest. This morning from Hallam Towers, right up on the 12th floor, so we were above the 11th floor, right up on the roof. The view from up there was quite something, but now that the cold is gone, the sun's out, it's, you know, the sky's cleared up, and you can probably see just by looking behind me at the blue sky and stuff, it is absolutely beautiful up here. It really is. It's lovely and warm. So the view is actually something else. I can see quite a lot, and I will give you guys a good look around in a minute, so don't you worry. We'll have a good look around in a minute, but it's actually just, it's a shame in a way, to be honest. It's actually a real shame. It's a shame to see it like this. And I will show you the state of this place. But believe in me guys, there really isn't a lot to see. Okay, so you're going to be looking at a lot of just emptiness, really. I will take it. What I kind of get my. I'm standing kind of on one of the slopes. Okay, and I'll give you a good look about. Take you up there, and we'll take you to the next slope, which has got more in the way of the artificial stuff that you see, or that you imagine it to be. So I climbed up. I walked up the hill on the artificial slope. So I'll give you a good look about in a minute. So don't worry, so I'll show you everything. But I just wanted to explain to you what it's like here, and it's just a shame, really. It really is a shame. It's just ruined, completely and utterly, totally ruined. Maybe you guys, maybe those of you who are watching or who are going to watch this broadcast later today, maybe you've heard of this place. Maybe you knew somebody who came here, maybe you remember it being on the news, maybe you saw live coverage from it, maybe you saw media artifact, newspapers and that kind of, maybe when it opened it was a big thing, I don't know. So maybe some of you who are watching actually remember this or know this of how it used to be. For those of you who, whether you do or don't, I've actually Googled and found out some of the original photographs from this place, and I will include those today along with the photographs that I've taken, just to kind of give you a comparison as to what it was and what it's like today. And it's just heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking. It's such a shame that this place is abandoned and derelict, and there is absolutely no plans to do anything with it. It's just going to be as it is until, I don't know, until there's nothing left, I guess. I mean, there's nothing left anyway. But if I stand to one side, you can kind of get an idea of where I am. So let's give you some factual stuff. Okay, so it's up to you whether you want to Google this for yourselves, but I've memorised as much as I can, as always. Now, just bear with me because I'm just trying to remember, and obviously sometimes when I do 2 live broadcasts, I try not to get confused with the one that I've done earlier, because I have to memorise everything off by heart and then try and relate back to you without looking at a bit of paper and notes and everything else. So just bear with me, okay? If I'm not sure, I'll leave it out, but you can always Google for yourselves anyway. That's entirely up to you, but I'm just trying to make it a bit more interesting for you to give a live broadcast, and you can just see what it's like here anyway, in the present state. Okay, so Sheffield Ski Village, back in the 2000s. Now we're actually going back as far as actually not that far, 2012, believe it or not, 2012. This ski village was the largest ski village in the whole of Europe. Okay, so it was the largest. It was, I'm not saying, and I think it was actually the first. It was originally built in 1987, and I'm just trying to wrap my brains. The names guy was John somebody, I believe his name was. So I hate it when this happens. I memorise everything and I can't remember names. John somebody. He was a very kind of quite an important businessman, I think it was, and he kind of not so much built this, but he came up with a design for it. So it was built in 1987, and it did really, really well. In fact, it did so well that only a couple of years after it was built, in fact in 1990, 8 slopes were built here because it was so popular. 8 slopes were built here, and I'm talking full-size slopes, okay, so 8 altogether. Now there's only 2 left, so the other 6 have completely either been ripped up, stripped away, burnt away, whatever the case may be. I can't even see them, I can't find them. I think they're under all the wildlife and just countryside, to be honest. But there was originally 8, so it was built in 1987 by a gentleman called John somebody. Okay, John somebody, right, and it did really well. And in 1990 was when they kind of refurbished it, and they built 8 slopes altogether. In 1991 it was doing even better, so it was still doing so well. So they built extra things. They built a bar, they built a restaurant and everything, which would have been at the bottom, I think. Now there is reports that things were at the top, but I think the majority of the recreational stuff was at the bottom of the slopes, as you would imagine it would be, as you came in through the main gates. And the main gates are still there to this day, and they still say Sheffield Ski Village over kind of across them. There is absolutely no recreational huts at all. You wouldn't even know there was anything down there. There's just nothing. Okay, and like I said, we'll have a look anyway, so I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. But it did so well in 1990 that in 1991 they built all these extra little recreational things. Now I'm just going to go back to 2012. So it just continued to do extremely well. Now, by 2012, not only did they have 8 slopes, they had a freestyle slope, they had recreational slopes, they had beginner slopes, they had the freestyler recreational part. They had a snowplex nursery. They had, I said, the freestyle was did things like I don't know what these mean, but they had I think it was called a half pipe. They had a kickstart. They had grind rails, and they had some other things. So these are obviously things that were in the freestyle. Now freestyle is obviously different from normal skiing. Freestyle is more where you do somersaults and that kind of thing. So they had a special freestyle slope with these extra kind of stunt bits, I guess, if you like. So they had those built into it. Now because this village was so popular and was so, like I said, the largest in Europe, which is unbelievable to think that it was the largest in Europe, and I think it was actually one of the first, not only the largest, but one of the first dry ski slopes in Europe was built here. It was so popular that British Olympic people would come and practice. Now I'm going to try and remember 3 names for you, and you may have heard of these. James Wood was one of them. Okay, now he was in the Olympics. Okay, so he actually came and practiced here. So James Wood's known as Woody. We had Katie, I think her name was Katie Summerfield. Does that ring any bells with you guys? Obviously it doesn't with me, but Katie Summerfield was a female, I don't know if she was a medalist, but she was a female an Olympic skier. So she actually practiced here. And there was another guy, and his name was called Paddy, I think it's Paddy Graham, and he was one of the most professional freestyler skiers, and he was sponsored by Red Bull, and he actually came here too. So that's just to give an idea of how prolific, if you like, or high profile the kind of people that would come here to practice. So we've got the professional freestyler skier, and like I said, we've got medalists that came here, Olympic medalists that actually came here and practiced. So that will kind of give you an idea of the kind of people who came here, and it was extremely busy and did extremely well. So I would imagine with people like that practicing here, you would have a lot of media attention. I would imagine you'd have a lot of coverage. You'd have a lot of obviously, like when they do like the rehearsals, when they do things like practicing and stuff like that, I would imagine they would have been covered, and there would have been coverage based on that, really, based on those people. So it was okay up until, so that kind of give you an idea. So right up until 2012, now that's when things started to deteriorate. Now in April, I think it was something like the 1st of April, or the late part of April in 2013 was when the first fire was started. It was started early hours in the morning. Now, nobody was injured, but it did cause damage, and the first fire was started accidentally. Okay, so it was accidentally started, and it was started down the bottom there, and it took out, I think it was one of the huts. Okay, so one of the main huts. A day later, I think it was something like so I think the first fire was something like the end of April, so we're talking about like 31st of April, and then on the 1st of May the second fire happened. Okay, but this was a deliberate fire. Now, bearing in mind the first fire was accidental, but it did start subsequential smaller fires which were all put out in the early hours. Okay, but on the 1st of May in the same year, 2013, one was started deliberately at the top. Okay, and it was started in one of the huts that controlled the lifts and the electrical stuff. So it was started deliberately. Something like the 20th of May, I think it was, or something just a week or two later, another fire was started deliberately, and this one was down, I think it took out the nursery, which would have been down the bottom there. And then there was another fire which was in the same month. I think it was a little bit later in the month. Okay, so another one, and that took out quite a lot down the bottom there. That was deliberately started as well. Okay, and it took out, I think it took out the cafe or the buffet or something. It took out quite a few of the huts that were down the bottom of the ski slope. Now, that's when it's kind of closed. So from sort of 2013 really is when this slope kind of closed. And it closed because of those fires. So the first one was accidental, but started subsequent smaller fires when they were put out. Nobody was injured, not a lot of damage. And then we had 3 fires after that, which were deliberately started in the early hours, all arson. Okay, and this place has been abandoned, derelict since 2013. Now, in 2016, as many, it named how many fires. We're talking a lot of fires. Okay, I think it's been the site of something like 50 fires. I think it was like 56 fires up until last year have deliberately been started in this place. And you can see anyway, there's just burnt wood all over the place. So it's such a shame to think that in 10, 15, 20 years time, or in fact in less than that, in just 3 years, in just 4 years now, because we're in 2017, so say in 3 years this place has seen something like 56 fires, deliberate fires, which is just diabolical. I mean, there's 56 separate fires, and it's just to ruin everything. Now, up until last year, it did say that there was obviously, they were looking at what to do with this place next. They were looking at how they were going to go forward, what they were going to do, and anything else. And I don't really think anybody's really come up with anything as to what to do with the place, to be honest. Today, this place is a sore state. It's probably a bit of an eyesore, simply because there's nothing really here. But it's now the site of, as I mentioned, arson, fly tipping, theft, criminal damage. It's just subject to everything, so it's basically just open to the elements. That's basically it in a nutshell. It's open to the elements, and it's just such a really good. I'll kind of give you a little bit of the historical information about the ski slope. I find that absolutely fascinating to think that this was the first largest dry ski slope in the whole of Europe to ever be built, right here in Sheffield, right here on this slope here. Now, to kind of give you some bearings as to where we are, so the Hallam Tower Hotel that we covered this morning was probably about 15-20 minutes away from the city centre, so it's probably an extra 15-20 minutes away from there. I don't think I can. I was just looking to see if I could actually see the Hallam Tower Hotel from here. I think if I look carefully I could probably see it. We're at the Neep's End side of this place, of Sheffield. Okay, so we're at the Neep's End side of Sheffield, so we're probably another 15-20 minutes away from Hallam Towers. So I'll kind of give you an idea as to where we are. It looks like I've got some company come up the slope, so I'm going to stop talking and give you a bit of a look about. So I'm going to pick you up and show you around. So you could probably see just by looking, if I just show you, so we were standing just there, and that's one of the main ski slopes. If I turn it around that way, you can probably see just what's left. So that's what's left of the ski slope. slope. So you would have started from the top there. Now the top comes from two angles, left and right, and you would have come down this ski slope here, and you can see it's completely burnt out, and you can also see that there's a kind of a ramp there, what's left of it. So that's what's left of a ramp. That would have then, you would have jumped there and you would have gone down the slope further towards the bottom. So that's what's left of this ski slope. There really isn't anything else to show you. The other slope, and we'll just have a look. But I think that's probably about as much as I can show you, but you can kind of get an idea of what I mean. So you can see the jump on the slope, and you can probably hear we've got some kids coming. So this will give you an idea of what this place is used for all the time. It's just basically ruined. So let's come down here, because I'm sure they probably want to know what I'm doing. That is what's left. Left, it's just completely burnt out. So if we go down to what we're going to do, we'll go down this way. I'll give you a bit of a look about, so you can see what I mean. So we're like right on the slope itself. I think what we'll do, we'll go around the other way. Otherwise we're not going to get any peace. So we're walking right down the slope, and you can probably see the kids, you might be seeing, there they go, kids behind me on a little nose. So this particular slope here was the main one. This was the largest one that they had right down the centre of the slope, and kind of, you can't see it on this side, but if I turn that way, if I look up that way, you can see that you've got like a bank. So you had like, it kind of banked, so you could kind of, I don't know what they call it, that. It's not very helpful, is it? You know what I mean, don't you? But this will give you, see we reached the bottom of the slope there, and that's what's left at the bottom. So you can see there's just junk everywhere, and it's literally just stuff everywhere. So that's one slope, believe it or not. That's what's left of it. So the top half, you can see the top half's been burnt away completely. There's lots of charred wood, so you've only got the frame, almost like the gully left. And then as you come down from where we were standing down to here, you've got what's left of the almost like the felt stuff on the ground, which would have been what would have been the base, and then they would have laid that dry snow stuff on the top. Okay, so that's all that's left of that slope. That's what's left of it. What we will do is let's go over this way. So we're now walking over to the next slope. So these are the only two slopes that are left out of 8. These are the only two that are left. Now, if I give you let me just give you a look about. So you can see all the dry ski stuff on the floor, and it's literally just left like this. It's overgrown. It's piled up, pulled up, dug up, just left. And I'm not quite sure what that is there. I don't know. I think that might have been one of the other slopes that was next to this one, a slightly slower one, if you like, and it kind of had a wooden platform that came alongside this all the way down to the end. This is where you would have ended up. So whether you fell or whether you skied, you ended up down there. So that would have been the base, and that, all that earth and dirt and everything else, all that across there, that would have been where all the recreational stuff would have been. So that would have been the snow. I think it was called the Snowflex, or the Snowflex Nursery. The bar, the restaurant, the cafe. I don't even know where the freestyle slope would have been. I've got no idea. I don't know if it's still here or not, but these are the only two that are left. And then you have like, there's like a runner. I'm going to show you, mate. See that little thing there? Look, that's like a little gully runner. Now, I presume that may have been used for skiers to walk alongside the slope safely, possibly. I don't think. So I'm wondering if it was like a bobsled, like a little bobsled thing. Mm-hmm. It may have been that as well. I don't know, but we'll have a look at that in a minute anyway. But this will just give you an idea of what we're talking about. So this is what's left of the recreational stuff. So like I said, you would have ended up at the bottom there. Okay. and that's the wooden platform that I believe possibly would have been like a slower slope that would have gone down alongside this one. And we're going to go up there. I'd like to take you up there because that's the slope, or at least go halfway up. You'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So let's go up that way, so you can just get an idea. Really, it's just yeah. As you walk from the city, if you look this way, you can kind of see. You can see the markers that are. I think they're either markers or like the floodlights that would have been used to light up this ski village. You can see them in the distance, like marking like alongside like the slopes going up the hill. But you can actually see this if you know what you're looking for. If you look in the right direction, if you look towards Neep's End of Sheffield, which is not far away from the city centre, as I mentioned, only 15-20 minutes, you can actually see this almost from the, just as you come out of the city centre itself, you can see it on the hill. But yeah, this is all that's left. And I got snagged then on a bramble. Oh, and I got snagged again. Right, I'm going to try and walk up here without falling over, because God, it's just so overgrown. But yeah, it's just a shame to think that the very first largest dry ski village in the whole of Europe is now this. That's all that's left. So this will give you an idea as to why I find not only this fascinating and interesting to come to these places, but why I'm so passionate about doing what I'm doing. I've said this on many occasions. Places like this are becoming so abandoned and derelict that eventually they're no longer going to be here. And maybe one day, I'm not saying that I will be, but maybe, just maybe, one day I might just have the very last photographs and live footage from that place before it's gone forever. And that's why I'm so passionate about doing what I'm doing. And why I want to make this not just about me blabbing and all the rest of it, but I want to do a series, which is why we're in the process of doing a series, because I want to cover as much of these places as I can throughout the whole of the United Kingdom before they're just lost forever, really. So there we go. So that will just give you an idea. So that would have been the bottom of this slope. So we've ended up down there, and then all the recreational stuff. So you can see right up on the hill there. You can see the main road, well, one of the roads. You can see all Sheffield, the outskirts of Sheffield. So that's all that's left. It's all the dry stuff there. We're going to go up that way. We're going to go for a bit of a walk. Sure. Let us do that. Because I don't want to end the broadcast just there. I want to take you up this one so you can at least see something, and then we'll finish. There's not really much information, well, apart from what I've already given you, there isn't really anything else I can tell you about it. And I don't want to keep repeating what I've already told you. And you can, like I said, you're more than welcome to kind of Google for yourselves anyway. So we're now walking on the dry stuff, or you can see, can't you? We're actually walking on the dry skis material, if you like, already. Now, I've never actually walked on it before, and I've always wanted to know what it feels like and what it's like. And all it is, it's just bristle. So that's the best way to describe it to you. If you can imagine a hard bristle, like almost like an outdoor hand brush or something, that's what it's like. They're just bristles. Obviously, on skis, your skis are smooth and shiny anyway. And yeah, that's all it is. I always wanted to know what it's like. Some of the stuff is actually upside down, so you can see it's got like a metal frame to the back of it. You just see it there, look. But that's all that stuff is. It's just very, very hard bristle. And when you stand on it, it kind of moves under your feet slightly, so you kind of have to stand in the little holes. We're not going to go to the top. You can tell we're going uphill, can't you? We're not going to go right to the top because the kids are up there, and we'll just end up with swearing and hand signs and I don't know what else. So we won't go there, although I'm sure they probably wouldn't mind. But yes, they've already come and had a look what I'm doing. So we'll stop here and just give you an idea. So you can see it's just like mounded up, literally just mounds and mounds of this material. It's just all folded up, pushed up. So we're actually on the ski slope now. Would have gone right down the bottom down there. Right down there. So the other ski slope, the one that's burnt out, is just the other side of these trees. And then, I'm just trying to think if I've got anything else. Just bear. I want to try and make this as interesting for you as possible. I don't want you to just, I don't know, come on a walk with me. I want to try and find things for you to look at, rather than just me walking and not really doing a lot. So, This is it here. This is what I wanted to show you. So we've got, can you see that there? It's like a little gully. Now, obviously it's quite full there, but as it goes all the way down. You can't see it this end, although it was here because I can see the material. I can see where it used to be. So we've got like this gully. Now I don't know. It's got like felt on it. Maybe that. You wouldn't think that would be. I can't imagine that would have been used for skiing. I might be wrong. Like I said, that might have been what they used to walk, if you like, or ski up and down the mountain, or up and down the slope. But it's almost like a gully, almost like a little bobsled thing, but it's quite full here. But as you go down a bit further, it's more of a like little gully, like a little thing. I don't think it was a bobsleigh. It didn't mention anything about a bobsleigh or anything, so it might just have been used for people to walk a safer route, if you like, up through the trees. Okay, so we'll go up a bit further. I mean, let's give you an idea. Let me just show you the view. Let me just let you, sorry, have a look at that. It's quite a view. And that's just the outskirts of Sheffield. Obviously, city centre. It's over that way. It's quite a view. It's actually really, really pretty up here. And in fact, since I've been here, I've had quite a lot of people passing. So literally, as I was doing the broadcast over there when we started, I don't know if you could see the tripod kind of wobbling a little bit. It's because there were a couple of dogs and they were kind of running past the snow bit and making the tripod move. And you might have heard the couple, the man and lady taking the dogs for a walk. But there was also a very, very young couple, teenagers. They came up and had a little picnic at the top of this slope. There was another young lady who come up and was taking photographs and then sat opposite me for a little while. So it's quite a popular place that people seem to just come and either take dogs for a walk or just kind of come up and have some peace and just kind of enjoy the view. Because believe it or not, even though this is a bit of an eyesore, it is a really nice view. And I can imagine in the summertime, I would imagine there's probably a lot, mainly children and when I say children, mainly teenagers up here playing and doing all sorts. Because once you get to the top, there's a couple of pathways. Through, obviously people can change from one slope to another. They can ski from one slope to another. Obviously it's completely overgrown, but you can walk through there if you want. And what I'd like to do, I'm going to take you over to that bridge, so that we're going to go and have a look at that. So I'll show you that. But so this bit of the slope is completely bare, so we're walking on the grass, but you can see how all that dry stuff has just been pulled up and just left in heaps. You can kind of get an idea of how it goes. It goes down there and then you go round the corner and you end up right down there. And you can also come out this way as well, so the ski slope comes right out on the banks. So you can obviously do that. I don't know what that's called in skiing terms. You know what I mean now, don't you? Me trying to be professional and I'm just going like that. You know what I mean. Okay, so we've got this bit. So we had two bridges. That's what's left of one. That was deliberately set on fire. That's one bridge that would come down. So it started right from the top in the trees and it come down on that wooden platform and it came just across here, across there, and continued to go down. So you had one bridge and you can just see what's left of kind of the framework, if you like, of the ski stuff, and the second one is intact. Like I said, we're going to have a look at that in a minute, because what we'll do is we'll kind of go. I might actually, I think the kid's gone, so we might be able to walk all the way at the top. I just don't want it to be boring for you because it's just me walking up here, getting out of breath. But I want to try and give you as much of a look, and then perhaps we'll walk back down where we started and I'll go off for you. So you can kind of go, so you can see how it goes through the trees there, and that's when it would have gone down onto the bridge, onto there. Okay, not only that, the view's actually amazing from up here anyway. Okay, I'm going to try and go as quick as I can. I'll try not to do any ski manoeuvres while I'm doing this. So it's a case of just having to put your feet in the little holes, kind of work your way up the slope really. So, coming up now. Oh, I've done this once today. Oh man. So I was up at 5 o'clock this morning. There's a train at 7. To be here for 8:30. Let's get to the hotel and then walk all the way from here. And then I've got to walk all the way back to the city. Find myself something to eat. Okay, so unfit. Quite windy, okay, so I'm hoping you can hear me. I'm hoping that you're not getting a lot of interference from the wind. Oh, sorry. Okay, so there you go. So that's the slope. Biggest one that runs in the middle, so we've walked right down to the sea. Goes all the way down to down there. So there's not really much else that I can show you apart from that. That's pretty much all there is. I've got some more people walking the dogs, which is why I've come this way, because I don't think I'm going loopy talking to myself. Okay, so you've got another slope here. Now this one's been set on fire at the top. This has just been burnt out. Take a look at that view for a start. Have a look. Can you see? There you go. Have a look at that. What a view. Absolutely beautiful. Looking right over into Sheffield, or the outskirts of Sheffield, right up into Yorkshire, to the Yorkshire Hills. Absolutely stunning. So we've got this here. Now you can see this little slope here. We've gone all the way down, crossed that bridge there, and then you would have carried on, and you would have ended up there. So it's in a straight line. So this would have been a simpler slope, if you like. But amazing to think. Go all the way down there to right to the end. Anyway, let's go to the next slope where we started, and then we're going to finish there. So let's go this way. Take a look. See, I've got those people watching me now. Those people that are walking the dogs. They're looking at me, thinking, so I'm going to do a disappearing act. I'm going this way. Okay, so I can hear the kids. They're still here somewhere. We'll go on to this slope, which is where we started. So we're going to have a look at the bridge tunnel thing, and I think, like I said, we'll stop there. So all this, if I show you, so it's all stone. So there's nothing left now. It's just bare stone, and all the burnt under stuff of the slopes is just piled up there. So we're going to come this way. So this would have been another slope. Okay, so it would have started from the same point as the main one that went down the middle. This would have come down the side. So this would have come down as you're standing on top of the hill looking. This would have been on the left hand side. And like I said, it's just bare gravel, you can see. It's just bare gravel. It starts. You can either start from where we just walked, over there, or you can start just up there on the hill. Where is it? There, look. Just there. And come straight down here. But yeah, this has been stripped right back and burnt right back to the bare stone. And it's just, that's all it is, just like gravel stone. You can see all the material. You can tell on the camera, look, it's just all burnt. Okay, so we're now pretty much where we started. So the slope would have come this way, around the corner. We had another starting point just here, which is now just mounds of stone. And you can see how the fire that was deliberately started here has actually burnt trees. If you look at that tree, see how black that tree is there? Totally black. And all this woodland has been burnt. Can you see how some of them are just burnt? So when this was set on fire, the fire worked its way up this way, obviously, because it acts as like not a wind tunnel, but you can feel the wind coming up this way. So it would have driven the flames this way, and it would have just burnt out all that shrubbery. So yeah, just burnt it all out. It's a bit of a shame. So okay, I am going to take you on top of this tunnel, or this bridge, and then we'll go back to where we started, and then we'll stop there. So we had the slope next to us. Do you remember when we stood at the top and we looked? And it went down across the bridge and right to the end. That's where it passes. And you've got what's left of the wooden structure through them trees. You can't really see it, but you can just make out what's left of the burnt bridge. This is what's left of this one. Now this one started just here, so this was an even shorter slope. So it started there on the felt. And if I turn the camera, you can just see behind me what's left of it. Now I'm not going to walk across that because obviously it's dangerous and it's too unsafe, but you can see how, again, fire has deliberately burnt away all the material, and you've just got bits of woods left, and then it goes across and it continues to go on the other end. So there was two bridges side by side, and also the slope, the main slope that we were on just a minute ago, you could also ski underneath the bridge and interconnect to this one. So I kind of give an idea of kind of the layout. So that's what's left of the bridge. Just burnt out really. Nothing left. All gone. Nothing there. You can tell I'm getting used to doing these broadcasts because I'm being a bit more dafter, can't you? Okay. So this is now underneath the bridge. So there we go. So that's what's left of the second bridge. Completely collapsed because it's been burnt. And this is what's left of this one. You can see this one's been set on fire deliberately as well, which is why I didn't walk across it. But you can see how charcoaled and burnt it is. So that would have been bridge number 1, or bridge number 2, bridge number 1, whichever way you want to put it. So there you go. That's that one. Okay. Give me please now, I'm nearly finished. So we'll start back where we started. And then we'll stop. Right, let's go down this way. So this, again, this has just been burnt right back to the gravel. You can see it under my feet anyway. You can see, you can see it's just gravel. And all that's left of this slope is the framework that went down either side. It's just been burnt. Totally burnt. And that is all that's left. There's nothing else. Just two big slopes, should I say 1.5 or 1 and a bit. A couple of paths, 2 burnt bridges. That's it, that's nothing left. And what I'll do is when we stand up here, we're going back to where we started. So, do you remember I said there was a jump? So that would have been a jump and you would have gone down that way. So we're now back to where we started. So we're back up here. Now if you look behind me, can you see? You can't really see it all. Just kind of there in that area. So all that is just dirt and rubble and stuff. And if you go a bit more, see where that tree is there? If you look behind it, you can't really see it. But if you go, you see little kind of bits and pieces. over there is just fly tipped. There's junk of every possible description: mattresses, clothes, toys, tyres, fridges, electrical appliances. It's just a fly tipping skip wasteland. And like I said, it's just such a shame. It really is. So there we go. I'm going to leave it there. I had somebody walking past me just a minute ago. Is he gone? Oh, he's coming down behind me. Look, there he is. Look, got a visitor. So there you go. That's all that's left of Sheffield Ski Village. Not much of a village, is it, really? But that's all that's left. That's literally it. Actually, you've just got 2 slopes. 2 slopes. A couple of bits. And that's it. So, I'm going to finish there. But I'm going to give you one last look before we finish, just so you can kind of see. So, as always, thank you so much for joining me, Influencers Times, as we continue to go in search of Britain's most abandoned and derelict places. Seriously, thank you so much for tuning in and for watching. I hope you found this broadcast, this episode 26, in this series. I hope you found it interesting. It certainly was for me. This is definitely a first for me. And as I've said throughout this broadcast, it's such a shame that it's in such a bad state, really, considering at one point in its day in the 1980s, in 1987, which is not too far away, 30 years maybe, you know, it was Europe's largest first ski slope, and it's just been, you know, like I said, this is all that's left. So there we go. So from me and from the Sheffield Abandoned Ski Village, have a great day. As I mentioned this morning, enjoy the rest of your day. Have a fantastic weekend. Have a great week. I certainly am, because I've got the week off. I've got the rest of next week off, so I'm just going to chillax, relax, enjoy myself, and do everything that I love to do. I very much doubt whether I'm going to be doing another live broadcast before I go back to work at the end of next week. I very much doubt it. Simply because obviously I want to try and give myself a bit of a rest. You know, I do want to have a rest and stuff like that. However, just to very quickly just go over, as you're aware, I'm still doing my cam drone photography. I've now got my website. We've now got our own cam drone photography app. So if you weren't watching this morning, you may or may not have seen the status I put on Facebook yesterday. Cam photography has got an app. If you go onto my Facebook page and click on the link, which is near the top, it's only yesterday. If you click on that, you can download it for free. It doesn't cost anything. There's you don't have to pay any money. I've done it all off my own back. It's not a all singing, all dancing, wowza wonderful app. It's just a very simple app, but it will allow you to keep up to date with cam drone photography on the go. So instead of having to go to a laptop, an iPad, tablet or computer, you will be able to watch, and you'll be able to catch up, and you'll be able to see everything that cam drone photography is doing on your mobile phone. It's iPhone friendly and Android friendly, so it doesn't matter what device you've got, you'll be able to download it for free and it will work. Please download it. If you would like to keep up to date with cam drone photography, please download it, and even if you just want to support me, it would be absolutely amazing to think that people have downloaded my app that I kind of built and made. Like I said, it's nothing amazing, it's just very kind of simple in a way, but it will allow you to keep up to date. It will allow you to link to Facebook and my YouTube channel. It will allow you to do all those things simply just by an app, so it's a lot easier, and you will be able to keep up to date. So it's basically cam drone photography on the go. Now I'm hoping to do another app, hopefully. I wouldn't mind doing one for Influencers of Times. I think that would be another good app to do. So hopefully, who knows, maybe in the next few weeks and months to come, we will have another app, which will be Influencers of Times. So the 2 apps will go together. It will be 2 separate apps, but they will obviously be cam drone photography Times, and again, you'll be able to keep up to date with Influencer Times on the go on your own mobile device. So that's another idea coming up very, very soon. So, as mentioned, have a great day and enjoy the rest of your weekend, while I now make my way back into the city centre and find myself something nice and warm to drink and something to eat, because I haven't had anything since about 6:30 this morning, so I'm very hungry. Until then, God bless you all. Thank you so much for tuning and watching. Thank you so much for all your help and all your support. As we've been on air now for nearly a year, you've been absolutely brilliant. It's been an absolute joy and a pleasure and a privilege to have your company on these episodes, whether you watch live or whether you watch at a later time. It is really truly amazing to see people watch watching. It really is, and I just love it. I really, really do. We're going to be covering a lot more locations. Like I said, I probably won't squeeze another one in the next week. I don't know when the next live broadcast will be, but I do have a location in mind. It will probably be next month. I have got some time off. I've got some time next month, so it'll probably be next month. I've got another location. I'm not going to give you any clues as to what the location is or where, because I'm hoping you'll tune in and find out anyway. So until then, take care of yourselves. Yeah, camera photography will be busy for the next couple of days. I'm not really doing any filming, but I'm going to be out and about flying as the weather looks like it's going to be really nice this week. So I'm hoping to do some flying. And very soon I will be able to live broadcast while I'm flying straight and stream onto Facebook and YouTube. So basically what that means is when I take Bert, my new drone, out for a fly, I will be able to live broadcast and stream directly while he's flying, so you'll be able to get a live broadcast of what it's like up there in the sky, which maybe or maybe not be something you might want to see, but that's coming up as well soon, as soon as I get the update. So anyway, till then, enjoy the rest of your day, and as I mentioned, thank you so much for tuning in, for watching. God bless you all, and from me in this poor sad state of a ski village, bye for now. God bless you, take care. See you very soon as we continue to go in search of Britain's most abandoned and derelict places. Bye. I'm going to go for a ski now. See ya.